Have you ever felt overwhelmed with all that's going on in the world? Sometimes we don't realize that we can make a difference. My name is Debbie Van Grieken, and it is my hope to inspire you to take small steps towards social impact. Join us each week as we have conversations with those who have taken simple steps towards living a more sustainable and socially conscious lifestyle. If you want to make social impact, let's start small. The Small Steps podcast is proudly sponsored by Moya Shea Products. As a listener, enjoy 15% off your online purchase. Use code SMALLSTEPS15 at checkout. At Moya, we believe in people helping people. Supporting the local and global communities that help our organization succeed is very important to us. We apply a fair trade framework when purchasing raw materials, supporting farmers and families. Thinking global and acting local, Moya works with organizations to better the lives of children through education and fair trade. Are you looking for the best moisturizer for beautiful, healthy, glowing skin? Our Shea products are superb moisturizers and have exceptional healing properties for those suffering from skin issues. Check out these products and our wellness line at moyasheabutter.com. Welcome back to the Start Small podcast. I'm your host, Debbie Van Grieken, and today I'm so excited to be able to interview August Dyrberg, who is the founder of Marta Swimwear in Denmark. They're taking ocean plastics and converting it into a fabric and making a men's swimsuit line, and it is amazing. So a little bit about August. He was born and raised 30 kilometers from Copenhagen, Denmark, and he comes from a very creative family. He's always loved sports, adrenaline, and adventure, and he's always had a love for details, gear, products, high-quality luxury lifestyle. He has a background in telemarketing and field marketing, but the idea for MARDA came back in 2018 while he was traveling the world. With only a middle school education and armed with his creativity, he set off on this adventure, and he was launching his product back in 2020, but of course with the global pandemic, things were delayed, but thankfully they launched in late December. Please welcome August. Hi, August. I'm so happy to have you with us today.
Thank you, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
So you're joining us from Denmark, and you said it's nighttime there.
Correct. Yeah, it's. I'm joining you from. I'm located in Copenhagen, Denmark, and we finally start to open up with the virus and everything, and it starts to be. I'll not say summer, but it starts to be a bit warmer. So that's nice.
Nice. We're still a little bit in lockdown right now, but we're getting some sunshine. So I'm in Canada, and it tends to be kind of cold and crazy weather right up until like May or June. So we take every bit of sunshine that we can. So I was just so excited to speak with you because I think what you're doing is absolutely amazing, and I want to share it with so many people. First of all, just if you could tell me what inspired you to start your business.
Sure. I'm the founder of a company called MARDA. We make high-end sustainable swimwear for men. The main reason behind MARDA started back in 2018. I was traveling around the world, primarily in Asia and in South America and the Caribbean. And since I love scuba diving as a hobby, I found out for myself all the plastic and trash we see in our oceans. And after I went home from traveling different places, I start to look more into it, and I start to find out that it's possible to make recycled polyester out from plastic bottles. And once I found that out, I tried to research it even more. I tried to find out more what's possible, and I came up with the idea of swimwear. I saw a little hole in the market in terms of combining modern design with a sustainable vision. And yeah, I started to research it even more. I started to participate in fabric exhibitions in Paris. I went to manufacture in Morocco. And yeah, then I basically go from there, and I started to make the perfect fit. Found the perfect fabrics. In my case, it was important that the quality and the fabric was put in tension with the highest regard in terms of the quality. So we have chosen a Japanese fabric because Japanese are the pioneer of highly technical fabrics. It's a fabric that is water resistant, quick drying, have an exclusive feel and touch to it. Then we were supposed to launch in 2020 in the beginning, and then the virus hit, and We dwelled a lot over if it was the right moment to launch, but we finally did it back in December last year. Probably not the best case or launch, but we did it, and since then it has been very good. And we have received a lot of great traction from some of the biggest media outlets around the world, and especially also in the fashion industry. So that's great.
That's incredible. It's so amazing. And you talked about this fabric and the technology and having to really research it. And you mentioned some of the differences with the texture and the durability. You said that you're taking the ocean plastics. So tell me what kind of goes into that. I think I read somewhere on your site that there's about approximately 7 water bottles that go into a swimsuit. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Regarding your choose or your choice of fabric and what the fabric is primarily made of, we see often with, for example, women's swimwear that some of them are made of 17 to maybe 25 plastic bottles because it's a heavier fabric and it's about the weaving of the fabric itself. But my fabric, and every time we make a pair of swimwear, there goes 7 plastic bottles into it. And it all starts with plastic bottles that are melted. These plastic bottles are then through air and small holes, like when you make spaghetti on a machine, goes through another machine. And basically what happens is that these small yarns that go through the holes they're kind of spinning it through, and they create these tiny yarns. And then basically after the yarn, it's been transported to the fabric manufacturer, and then they're doing the last details. They dye the fabric. They give the fabric the certain touch or feel that you want. So that for us it was very important that it was made of recycled plastic bottles. And I think it's only the beginning in terms of the fabrics that are being made at the moment, in terms of the whole fabric scene in general. I think there are a lot of great fabrics that are being produced at the moment. So for us, we only see this as a beginning. Besides, I don't know if I've mentioned it before, we donate a percentage to an organization called Ocean Cleanup because it was important for us to have like a red thread through the company that we want to take plastic bottles to use for our shorts, but we also want to give back. So we donate a percentage of each pair of swimwear sold to this NGO.
That's incredible. That is so great. You've mentioned, speaking in your bio, about not really having the formal business education and background. I myself started my business with no business background, and I know it can be challenging. How have you found the learning process, getting your product from the R&D, research and development stage, getting it into the market? I'm sure you've been met with some challenges. Maybe you can speak a little bit about how you've been able to overcome some of those.
Sure. From my perspective, in the beginning, I was working on a minimal budget, and I knew that from the beginning. So basically just dive into it, all about e-commerce, and try to learn anything about e-commerce from a marketing perspective. And regarding the manufacturing process and the design and so on, I was also brand new to it. I had the advantage that my father has been in the textile and fashion industry, so he knows how to, how you communicate with manufacturers and fabrics, and in general, how the whole section in terms of fashion and textiles. But I would say that the toughest thing in the beginning was probably to understand the e-commerce world correctly, because if you are a complete stranger to the e-commerce world, let's just say that there are many opportunities, and especially from a startup standpoint, and how you grow your company as a startup, and what should you focus on, and what's important, what metrics should you keep on your eye on. And it's a wild game once you enter it. But I think that there are many great courses. There are many great people. I just reached out to a lot of people and tried to get a meeting with some of them, and some of them said no, some of them said yes, and then try to learn from their mistakes and learn what should I double down on, what should I focus on to prevent mistakes and waste of money that maybe probably should have go another place. I think for many people, if you're also entrepreneur, especially in the beginning, in the startup phase, you're wearing many hats at the same time. I don't think I would say it's difficult. I just probably will say that you have to learn it yourself to get a better understanding of it. Of course, it's easier if you have a lot of capital to work with, but it takes time in the beginning. Yeah. So you have to be patient and hope that everything turns out the way you want it.
Yeah, I know I made a few what I call expensive mistakes in the beginning, but then I learned from that process, and so I knew not to do those things again. But surrounding yourself with a great team is so important. But yeah, on a shoestring budget, that can take some time. You're quite the adventurer. You say you travel quite a lot. You're really into sports. And I would say that the swimsuit you designed is kind of taking that into consideration. You wanted something that was going to dry quickly, look good, and be fashionable, but still be practical for all of the sports and things like that. I was looking at your website and I thought, I can see that I have 5 sons and they like to have the adrenaline rush as well. So I could see that they would like a swimsuit like that, because you said you're really into understanding gear and that's how you kind of came up with your design. Was there anything else that kind of helped you to narrow this specific design down?
I think that, as you just mentioned, I love gear, I love equipment, I love high quality products. And I think for most people, the reason they start a company is because they see a gap or hole in the market. Or maybe they think they can make the product even better. Or you see a lot of direct-to-consumer brands that suddenly are just getting a tremendous amount of success. It's not because, they reinvent the wheel. They probably, most of them take like normal kind of businesses, certain niche, but it's like basic products, and then let's say the packaging or make the online appearance different. So I think for also many entrepreneurs, it's important to understand that you don't have to make an app or try to focus on making the new Twitter, or because if you look at the platforms, some of them I just mentioned, few that really received a lot of traction, a lot of success on the long term. But back to your question, I think for me that the swimwear market for men is very simple. If you look at some of the brands that have a lot of success, they all of them have some small details that make them stand out. Some of them use a lot of prints, different kind of prints, and some of them have some smaller details. The reason for we have like a metal logo on the waistband on the back of our shorts, and the reason behind that is that we want to create something that, when you wear our shorts on the beach, on the pool, the beach club, dinner, whatever you're wearing them, you could see that the product is from MARDA, and that was the whole idea for that. So right now we only have plain colors as a beginning, because everybody else makes prints. We're also going to do prints in the future, but it's going to be, I would say, prints you have not seen on swimwear before. So that's going to be very exciting. It's going to be some prints that you have probably seen in the fashion industry. But yeah, I think it's important to focus and have attention to detail. I think not only packaging, but the product itself. I think you should, as a consumer, receive your product once you have ordered it. It should be like an experience that you really you feel great about when you receive it. You can see that. I think you will also know. I think once you buy an iPhone or an Apple product, it's an experience itself to receive a product from them. The packaging is nice, the design is nice. They have a lot of attention to detail as well, and I think that's important.
I really think consumers are looking for that now. I think consumers want to connect with the brands that they support. They want to see the person behind the brand and kind of see that. So I know for myself, I usually put in handwritten notes with all of my orders that go out and get shipped, and I think that really connects people, and especially the target markets that we're dealing with, people who are looking for sustainability and are looking for like that next level of just connecting personally with the brand. So I think it's so important that customer experience, like you say, when they receive the package, that they really feel connected right from the start. I know I went on to your website to order and you're already sold out of the yellow. So I'm hoping that those come back in stock soon. You mentioned that the prints are coming in the future. Did you find it surprising on how quickly you were selling out of some of the initial launch?
I would say we did a lot of work to really promote it the best way possible in the beginning. I would say something that maybe comes as a surprise was which colors that sold out first. when I made the yellow color, I chose the yellow color in the beginning. I didn't have expected that color would be sold out from the beginning, since you even have to be a lot of tanned. So as a white guy, that came as a little bit as a surprise. But besides that, no, I put a lot of work into it and really try to do the best and try to follow the my goals and my plans for the future and so on. So but I'm truly happy that the customers, they like our product and can't wait to trade more designs and more prints and just build a brand. I found out by time that's something I really am I'm passionate about, especially the online appearance. And so yeah, that's great.
So what, besides the coming up prints and things like that, tell me a bit about the vision for the future for your company. Where do you want to bring the company to in the next few years?
The whole idea is to start as a swimwear brand and then move over to be a lifestyle resort wear brand by combining modern designs with a sustainable vision. I think that's key, and it's also important to really double down on the sustainability aspect. I think a lot of companies, new companies, are doing it, but I don't think that they're doing it right. I have seen in the women's wear that, we have Reformation, we have Pangaea, a new upcoming startup, started tremendously, but we don't see that a lot on the men's scene. My long-time goal is to be up there. But yeah, started with swimwear, and in I would say 2, maybe 3 years, and then start make other kinds of styles in terms of clothing for men, of course, only by using sustainable fabrics and sustainable materials.
Excellent. And as well, fashion has kind of got a bad rap because there's a lot of exploitation in the supply chain, especially with workers and workers' conditions. So I'm assuming that you're taking all of that into consideration with the manufacturing of your product as well, looking at fair wages and making sure that your supply chain is ethical. Have you had any issues with that working through this process?
That was, of course, key in the beginning to see the standard and know the standard of our manufacturer. Of course, this is a crucial and an important thing, because there are a lot of, especially in, as you just mentioned, the fashion industry, or I think was before, a lot of talk about bad labor and wages and working hours. Yeah, we definitely think a lot about that, and we have been visiting our manufacturer for many times, and the workers are extremely happy. They work the amount of hours that are allowed. They get paid well, insurances, pensions plans, great meals, food, good working conditions. So yeah, of course we pay a lot of attention to that, and that is something that's very important, not even for us. We want to, all the way through supply chain and to the final product, be, have a product that we are really, proud of, not only as a quality-wise, but that the people behind it also are treated nicely and works under great conditions.
That's great. So how can people connect with your brand? So I know that you've got some social media platforms. Maybe you can tell us what your website is and where they can connect with you on social media.
Sure. So you can check us out at MartaSwimwear.com, and you can both on Instagram and all our social media channels, and then MartaSwimwear.com. And there is a coupon code called MARDA10 to get 10% off your first order.
That's great. We'll make sure all of that goes into the show notes so that people can connect with you. And it's been lovely chatting with you. I'm so excited about what you're doing. I think it's so important, and I think that it's going to be well received. Already it's showing that, but I think as you move forward and get more publicity, I think that so many people are going to be attracted to this brand. I know I have, like I said, 5 sons and a husband who are always looking for quality clothing, and they are also looking for that ethical and sustainable material as well. I love the fact that they can dry fast and they can be off onto the next adventure. I get a little stressed because they all like the cliff diving. So they tend to be diving, and you mentioned you scuba dive. Back in my youth was adventurous like that too. And now that I'm a grandma, I like to stay on shore. But I look forward to watching how things develop for you, and I look forward to getting mine in the mail. mail. I can't wait. I'm going to order some for the boys. So make sure you get that yellow color because they all love colors.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time and to know more about MARDA. I really appreciate that. And and hopefully we can talk again in the future. Maybe MARDA is in a different place, and I'll be happy to talk to you again.
Yes, excellent. Thanks so much. We're wishing you all the best. Thank you for listening to Start Small. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and found a small step you can take today. Make sure you share it with a friend. And if you have not done so yet, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and if you are enjoying this podcast, consider taking a moment and leaving us an honest review in your Apple podcasting app so more people can be inspired to take small steps towards social impact.